My name is Courtney Pollock, and I am the Customer Marketing Coordinator for SWK Technologies. I'd like to welcome you to our webinar, Defending Your Digital Fortress, the Vital Role of Microsoft 365 Security, presented by SWK's Mike Esposito. Before we get started, let's go over some housekeeping items. Everyone has been placed on mute to keep the background noise to a minimum. However, throughout the webinar, you can submit any questions you have. If you'd like to submit a question, look for the questions section of your GoToWebinar panel or the chat box, and we'll answer all questions at the end of the presentation. We're also recording this presentation, and it will be distributed tomorrow to all attendees, as well as those who registered but were unable to attend. And finally, we'd appreciate your participation in our closing poll and survey. With that said, we're thrilled that you've taken some time out of your busy day to be with us. SWK is here to help you fulfill your vision of a smarter and easier way to run your business by providing you with tools, support, software, and industry knowledge whenever you need it. So whether you're just here to learn or here to learn some more, don't hesitate to ask any questions you have. And as a quick reminder, SWK is constantly sharing important updates and software tips and tricks on our social media channels. Check us out and give us a follow on Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube so you don't miss out. Okay, that's enough for me. Let's hand it over to Mike for the main event.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? My name is Mike Esposito, and I'm a technical account manager here at SWK on the MCS side. In my role as TAM, I guide my clients through complex infrastructure, cybersecurity, licensing, and line of business application challenges. Before we get into our agenda, I just want to do a quick overview of SWK Technologies. We are a nationally recognized MSP and solutions provider in North America and have nationwide coverage, leveraging over 190 employees to the delight of our customers and enable success. And now let's get into it. Just a quick recap of the agenda. We're going to talk about what are the core tenets of Microsoft 365 security. We're going to ask the very old age important question of what you can do to secure your data within Office 365. Discuss the vital role of MFA in protecting admin accounts, using preset security policies, then securing collaboration tools like Teams, OneDrive, and SharePoint, using sensitivity labels and data loss prevention, the importance of account maintenance, and Office 365 backup solutions. After that, we'll do a poll and a Q&A and have a special offer. Okay, so what is Microsoft 365 security? Microsoft 365 security refers to the suite of security features and tools provided by Microsoft within their platform. Security within this context focuses on protecting data, applications, and infrastructure hosted or accessed through the Microsoft security platform. Identity and access management refers to securing user identities, authentication, and access to resources within Office 365. This refers to MFA, conditional access policies, identity management, and privileged identity management. It's a lot of identity management. Threat protection goes through detection and defending against various cyber threats. Information protection is regarding safeguarding data by encrypting, controlling access to, and tracking usage of sensitive information. Data loss prevention, or DLP, refers to implementing policies to monitor, identify, and protect sensitive information to prevent unauthorized sharing or leakage of sensitive data. Security management refers to providing a centralized management and monitoring of security-related settings, policies, and activities within the 365 environment. And security and compliance auditing helps ensure compliance with regulatory requirements and industry standards, as well as auditing and reporting capabilities to track and analyze security-related activities. It's a lot of definitions, but they all are very important. So what can you do? Start with MFA, whether it's through security defaults or conditional access, but this is a must. Second, protect your administrator accounts. Then implement preset security policies. Protect all your devices and use conditional access policies to limit what devices can access your Office 365 environment. Use email and collaboration tools securely. Manage calendar sharing, which is very important. Maintain your environment and keep up to date on the latest security trends. Yeah, we're going to talk about MFA again. Um, I don't care if it's the CEO, your IT administrator, or the President of the United States. Everyone must have MFA turned on. The folks who are most vulnerable will also be the most vocal about not wanting to occasionally put in a code. This stuff matters. And not only that, please make sure your administrators are practicing what they preach. We've seen in many cases in organizations where everybody had MFA enabled except the administrators. Uh, and to give a few examples anecdotally about MFA, um, we've seen plenty of times where users are using insecure passwords like password123 for their email that are easily guessed and are able to be accessed um, with ease from other areas of the world. Putting MFA in place helps reduce the risk of a cyber attack, helps reduce the risk of people just logging into your email from places unknown. Let's talk about using preset security policies. Microsoft kind of makes this easy for you. For most companies, the standard protection set of policies is suitable for most businesses. It includes anti-spam, anti-malware, anti-phishing, spoof settings, impersonation settings, safe links, and safe attachment policies, and it also evolves as the threat landscapes evolves. Strict protection includes the same thing as standard protection, but with more stringent settings. Microsoft, it's pretty easy to implement these policies, and it saves companies a lot of time and effort having to customize little pieces of Microsoft 365 security. But to be able to use preset security policies, there's a prerequisite to have certain licensing for Defender, which is included in a lot of Office 365 licensing plans. Anybody with questions about what is needed to use these policies, feel free to put them in the chat, or we will happily answer any questions about Microsoft 365 licensing regarding this. If your company is using things outside of the Microsoft ecosystem, like Slack instead of Teams, Zoom instead of Teams, Dropbox instead of OneDrive or SharePoint, or just have like a hodgepodge of different programs to do different things, why open yourself up to the hassle of managing different security for different apps when Microsoft has all of these features? Streamlining the use of Microsoft 365 means streamlining security. If you're using OneDrive and SharePoint, ensure that the least permissive external sharing settings are in place to prevent external sharing where it otherwise would be. And also ensure that you only share files and folders with specific people and choose whether they can view or edit the data. Microsoft has default alert policies that can be created to alert you if admin privileges have been elevated, if there has been an email forwarding redirect rule created, or suspicious email sending patterns that will alert administrators. Microsoft has the ability for the creation of custom policies beyond the default ones to further keep you alert of security issues. Microsoft allows users to share their calendars with people outside of the organization by default. Turn this setting off immediately. I do not know why it's turned on. Let's talk about data loss prevention. Here's where it gets real, guys. Organizations should identify sensitive data and put measures in place to prevent it from falling into the wrong hands or identify when it's being shared. DLP allows organizations to identify classified/sensitive information and create policies around its use. Some of these policies can be basic, like identifying when personally identifiable information is being shared, like social security numbers, phone numbers, or license numbers. Doing this is incredibly complicated and an expensive proposition to implement, as all of an organization's data will need to be scanned for PII and sensitive data. Then we would need to consult with key stakeholders on creating policies around how that data can be used and shared. Implementing DLP and creating sensitivity labels often goes in conjunction with a company's HR and acceptable use policies. This may seem simple, but keep your Office 365 tenant clean and tidy just like you would your own home. SWK has seen plenty of scenarios where ex-employees are carrying a licensed mailbox that is simply forwarding email to another user. In those cases, converting ex-employees' mailboxes into something called a shared mailbox that doesn't require a license helps keep those licensing costs down. Shared mailboxes do pretty much the same thing as a normal mailbox, the only difference being that access to them is limited by the administrator. They help save clients money on licensing, and they are secure. Moreover, SWK's NAC clients have technical account managers like myself and David Monroe that help our clients regularly keep their clients our clients Office 365 costs down, but moreover, make their Office 365 tenant more secure. Here's the thing about Microsoft 365. While Microsoft backs up its data, it does not offer the ability to restore it on a granular level. Third-party solutions that SWK offers a third-party backup solution that will encompass backing up your email, Teams, OneDrive, and SharePoint data to be able to do those granular restores. Let's say a person deletes an email that they realize 3 months later, oh, I needed that email back. At that point, the email can actually be retrieved, and you don't have to restore the entire mailbox to do it. You can just go to and get it right from the source without too much time or effort. As more people use OneDrive, SharePoint, Teams, having a third-party backup system that allows you the ease of use of just being able to pick stuff to restore quickly and easily is critical. Here's a summary of what we just discussed. I know I threw a lot at you there, and I'm sorry about that. Just ensure that MFA is turned on by either security defaults or conditional access. Keep your Office 365 tenant clean. Enable standard security policies. Think about classifying your data and implement a third-party backup tool. SWK is available to provide a helping hand if needed. We have an IT consulting and services division that can help you with any of the problems or requests to improve performance and security and provide any of the services you see here. Thank you so much for joining our webinar. As a special offer to registrants of this webinar, we are offering an external vulnerability assessment and penetration test for $600. It's regularly $1,300. And now let's get to the poll questions and Q&A.
Awesome. Thank you, Mike. So like we said, we kept it short and sweet for you guys today. We do have a quick poll we want to launch before we get into Q&A. So that should be coming up on your screen now. So just, would you like to be contacted about more information? Would you like to learn more about that vulnerability test offer? I know that's a nice discount. More about security for 365, or more about SWK's managed cloud services? And then, Mike, I know we've had a few questions come in throughout, so we'll leave this poll open for just a little bit longer and then dive into those.
No problem. Thank you.
Okay, and thank you for everyone who answered so far. If you're still getting that answer in, we're going to close the poll out in just a second, so now's your moment. Okay. You ready to dive into some questions, Mike?
Absolutely happy to.
Awesome. So the first question that we had come in was, what can SWK do to help maintain existing Microsoft 365?
It's a great question. For our existing customers or existing network assurance and network assurance core customers, the technical account managers assigned to those accounts will regularly check in with our customers, and part of those regular check-ins is to discuss your Office 365 environment to make sure it is up, it is in tip-top shape, and make sure that you're not paying for licensing that you don't need to pay for, and make sure that the correct amount of employees are in the system and that no one else has access to that tenant that shouldn't have access to it.
Great, thank you. Our next question is, do we offer, so does SWK offer help with DLP implementation?
Absolutely, we do. It is a consultative engagement where a customer would reach out to us and we would work with them to identify the files that they are looking to implement DLP for, and we would work with them to basically identify where sensitive information is being stored and basically work with key stakeholders to see which of this data should be able to be shared externally, or which of the data should not be shared externally, and then we would implement policies around those around that that consultation basically.
Okay. I've got another question about a couple more questions about Microsoft 365. So the first is, how can we review our licenses to see if some are going unused?
Absolutely, you can reach out to network support at swk.com if you're a current customer of ours, and we can absolutely review that with you. And if you're not a current customer of ours, whoever's listening, we're happy to work with you. You can reach out to info@swktech.com. We're more than happy to help.
Yes, and that is the best place. If you're not a current
Yeah,
customer, info@swk.com, and we'll get you set up with the right
yeah,
person.
absolutely. We're more than happy to help on that front. This is stuff that I love doing. I love saving customers money and making things more secure. It's my favorite thing.
You're a good place to be then, Mike.
Yep.
So I think, potential last question. If you're out there and you still have a question, we've got, subject matter expert here. So go ahead and get that in. But this one particularly revolves around pricing. So Mike, if this is something that is, case by case basis, we might have to follow up here. But they asked, how much is it to have SWK manage our M365 environment, including Exchange Online?
Um, it will entirely depend on the number of licenses and the type of engagement you're looking for, basically. If you're looking for SWK to support the 365 environment, or if you're just looking to do, management of it, it completely depends on that. But absolutely, we can help you out. We just need to kind of figure out where um, where we can fit in to your needs, basically.
Yes, and if that was your question, I'll go ahead and have Mike and the team reach out to you so they can get you a more specific answer. But like you said, there's some case by case basis there, so we want to make sure we get you, the
Yeah,
most accurate
yeah.
information.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to discuss pricing or things like that at the current moment, but if we get we can work with you to get as much information as possible and see how we can help basically.
Awesome. So I think that, unless we get a last minute submission here, I think that is all our questions for today's session. So thank you for everyone who joined us today and took a little bit of time. We hope you found this informative. And if you have any other questions or you want to take advantage of that discounted vulnerability test, reach out to us at info@swk or let us know in the follow-up survey. And we hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you all.